So, you want to kill the new Phantom Muspah Boss. So, I'm going to run through everything, what you're going to have, what you're going to do. So, I've got a Mage Switch, I've got Crystal Gear, Bofa, and that's pretty much a gear. I've got freezes, so I don't actually need that stamina, but, you know, I brought it anyway. A couple of brews, a couple of restores, and the rest just food. You can bring a crossbow and sapphire bolts for the prayer drain part later on, but we'll get to that in a bit. So now we're going to head into the boss room and we're going to have a look at the boss. So now into the boss room. First we're going to talk about the melee form. So for the melee form, mage gear on, melee prayer up. If you're going to freeze it in place and just hit it as much as you can and stay away from it. If he starts to move again, then you're going to freeze him again, and that's pretty much all there is for the melee form. So next we're going to have the range form, same sort of concept, pray range, put our range gear on. It's green, not brown, so you can tell the difference between the two, and we don't need to freeze it and we don't need to run around the room with this one. So that's the two main forms of the fight, and now we'll look at the attacks. So basic range attack, quite simple, praying range against it, you don't need to run around, you don't need to do anything special, you just see him do a little head bop and he'll fire a little projectile at you. Pray range, all good. That's the basic range attack. So next up we're looking at the mage attack. You're going to see him holding his head back, charging up purple attack, throwing it at you. Pray mage, just switch to your pray mage and then switch it back to pray range as soon as he's done, because typically it's going to be a range attack next. So that just protects you from that. And yeah, that's the mage attack. So now we're going to have a quick look at the melee phase. With melee phase we're going to put our mage gear on, put our melee prayer on, we're going to freeze him in place, or we're going to skirt him around the room. It's up to you. But yeah, I freeze him in place and I don't take any damage like this, and then as soon as he starts to move again, I'll freeze him again. And that is literally it for the melee phase. Next we're going to look at in between phases. We've got a spike that comes out of the floor underneath you, so you just got to move one square or run away when he changes phases, so you avoid that one. So the next attack we're going to look at is the same as orb phase on Akka. We're just going to avoid the orbs as they're flying around the room, but you can still attack him while he is teleporting around. And when he finishes, he's going to finish in the northeast corner. And I think it's completely random when he does this, but you'll see the room go dark, just like that. And that's the start of the attack. So he's got another attack where the room goes dark, and when the room goes dark, a couple of the spikes that are around the room are going to start chasing you. So when they're chasing you with your melee or range form, you're going to have to keep moving around the room a bit just while they're chasing you, and then eventually they'll lock up again and be stuck in place. So the next attack we're going to look at is when he gets down to about 15% health, he's going to teleport to the middle of the room and let out a big shockwave that can hit up to an 80. So you want to get behind one of the spike walls quick and you won't take any damage from it. At this point, change into your range gear, and if you've brought a crossbow, this is the time that you're going to be using it. So if you're using a Bofa or any other 4-tick weapon, you want to put it onto a 5-tick cycle so that you're in the same attack cycle as him, so you can smite him a lot easier. And yeah, so you're going to smite him on your attacks and then pray against his attacks. So he'll do range of mage attacks and you're just going to keep going until the shield is gone. Then once the shield goes down, he's going to put spikes out all across the floor, so you want to move off of those. Carry on praying against his attacks, and this is the last phase. So this is like a DPS phase. Every couple of attacks he's going to put spikes all across the room. But as long as you're avoiding those, putting your prayers on properly, you'll be fine. It's an easy boss to kill, and he's relatively good money at the moment. So yeah, thanks for watching.